Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Cancer, welcome. We start the reading with this most wonderful energy. We have the 10 of Discs, which is all about wealth, meeting our goals, things coming into fullness, especially in that earthen material realm of our life. That is our physical world, our home, our work, our relationships, the way that we exist in this world, the things that we interact with, the things that we create, the things that we gather, the things that we hunt for, the things that, just basically populate our lives. So when I see this and we have this 10 of Discs energy, I'm excited. It is a sense of accomplishment. It is a sense of, something really going your way. Now, of course, with every archetype, with every alignment, there are a variety of sides. So we have this very overtly positive, things are going good. We got, the dream is alive, shall we say. But, then there are things that maybe aren't so seen. Maybe they aren't things that you had anticipated. I often think of this card in relationship to, scenarios like maybe, somebody's been struggling financially for years. They've been working hard. They do one of those office lottery pool type things or whatever, and then end up winning, right? Or maybe they just win by themselves. They go out buy a ticket on an off chance and end up winning. Well, then they have all this money, right? But what comes along with money? And this isn't to complain, but, I don't think that, at least I know for myself, because I've, been, I would say, in poverty for most of my adult life. You don't necessarily think about how much work and troubles come with having a lot of money, and to suddenly have a lot of money, to have all these responsibilities, and now, it opens you up to predators, really, and also, I imagine if you have resources, you have to stay in some kind of cosmic alignment and balance, and, so it's not always rainbows and puppies and little, sugar plums and all of that. Sometimes, right, there is a distinct darkness that comes to, or comes with blessings, and those, there are always blessings and troubles, and there will always be troubles and blessings. Let's just keep that in mind. That's not to say, I'm not trying to down your good luck here, your wonderful energy. But I'm a Virgo. I'm also a ascendant Capricorn and an Aquarius moon. So I overthink things and I ruminate a lot. So you could give me the best news and I'm like, well, wait a second. It's like those videos where somebody's bought a family member a car or their spouse a car, and everybody's so excited. And to me, I immediately think, well, who's paying the car payment and how much is it? And how much is the insurance going to be? Who pays for that? Okay, anyways, let's get started. So also, if you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And if you have a prayer request, definitely put that in the comment section, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. Okay, so we have a person sitting here. They look like they're sitting in a nice large chair, comfortable, upright posture, head held high. Reminds me very much of the Empress. Okay, so we have Empress energy right in here. We have them next to what looks like maybe a tree, like a palm tree. You could see that's the trunk, and here are, you know, where the leaves would be up in this area. Now over here we have what looks almost to me like a whirling dervish. We have the head, we have the arms, we have the body here, and then this kind of flared out dress, robe, some kind of garment that is flowing. So to me, it is almost this kind of interesting vision of, you know, like the Empress sitting in court watching, you know, these beautiful beings dance and swirl and really engage in ecstasy and their relation to the divine. In this case, it would be, you know, Allah, God, right? As we know, the dervish are Sufis, and the Sufis are Muslim, right? Islamic. So a very beautiful, beautiful movement, by the way. If you have never read anything about the Sufis, I lift up for you and recommend to you a man named Henry Corbin. I say it the American way, Corbin. But this guy, very interesting, a philosopher, theologian to some degree, right? I would say somebody who partook in esoteria and so on, but his writings on Sufism from a Western perspective, very interesting, and also more accessible if you are somebody who is from the Western world, unless you are very learned in these higher systems like Sufism. If you have some basis in Islam, but also I was saying the Quran, right? If you have some understanding of the stories and the tenets and the, you know, these things, then it wouldn't, you know, obviously, these things are probably a little more straightforward for you. But if you are like myself, somebody who is a Westerner, I did not grow up within this culture or within the system, it seems more accessible, right? And the dude, I think, he was French, maybe. I can't remember. Italian, French. I think French. But anyways, totally looked that guy up. So anyways, the dervish are practitioners of Islam, but there is a sense of a love tradition, right? These are, if you could think of like the troubadours or chivalry or, you know, the like courtly love. Sufism highly impacted all of these things, right? When Islam reached Spain and parts of Italy, this is these beautiful practitioners, these devotees of the way. They would put on these, and they still do, by the way. They put on these beautiful dances, and they are very much like just manifestations of the love and ecstasy one might have with God if you are devoted to your faith, to your practicing of your faith, right? And to be devoted to that interior work. And that's the big thing, is going into that interior. Now, letting it also mirror into your physical world, and that is living a godly life, right? To live as maybe not like like somebody who goes and lives like a cloistered life, but maybe you will, right? Maybe you have. I think we've all romanticized like moving to an ashram for, a couple years and sorting some things out. Maybe you are one of these people that have done it. But what I do feel like this is showing me is there is a sense of really coming into your leadership, having confidence in your beliefs, in the way that you're living, coming to a place where it's like, maybe not the attitude of I'm not going to apologize for, the way that I live or the things that I believe or my faith or my, identity alignments or any of these things, but not in a way that is like, like an edgelord or like somebody who's like, pushy in people's faces about it. I don't think you're trying to convert people to anything, right? You just want to live life how you want to live it, and you are done with bending to other people's visions, other people's ideas of how you should live. So I do feel like in this Empress energy, you are in a creative mode. You are building your life up. You are living the way that you want to live. And this is letting you access this channel of divinity. I feel like you are so locked in with the divine, the cosmos, God, your goddess, guardian angel, daemon, higher thinking, whatever it is for you, whatever you want to call it, you are engaged with it. You are very plugged in here. So I do feel like you are witnessing a lot of synchronicities. There are a lot of patterns that you are recognizing. Sacred numbers repeating themselves, words that really stand out to you. Now, all of this makes sense to me because we are coming up on the equinox. It is just a few days away. We are going into autumn or spring, depending on where you're at. And we're also really in this like shift. I mean, whatever is happening, it is happening to all of us. There is a collective turmoil. Chaos is afoot. But you know what? We will not succumb to it, right? The fear, the anxiety, the, reactiveness. What I feel from you, Cancer, is you sitting in a power position, being in a posture of greatness. You are quieting. You are watching. You are formulating. I think of myself when I've been, on a wellness journey this last year. And one of the challenges I've, sprinkled in some physical challenges for myself. There's this one, it's like, I forget what they call it, but it's basically building up your knees and ability to sit in a deep squat, which is actually a resting position. But when you're out, I was like way out of shape. I had not done a lot of intentional movement for some years. And anyways, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this thing where you sit in a deep squat for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. Now, it took me about, I don't know, I guess 4 months to finally get 30 days consecutively. And now I use this posture constantly. It is a resting posture for me, and it is one where I feel very powerful, I don't know what it is. It aligns my body in such symmetry, and it feels just like I could push up and leap into action. So to me, it feels like you are in a similar posture, whatever that looks like for you, right? So I do feel that for the first time in maybe a long time in your life, there is a confidence that will allow you to not only really dwell in this place of faith, of this place of spiritual and religious and philosophical exploration, inquisitiveness, and really, I feel like you are coming into a period of, trying things, researching, looking for maybe new, I don't even know, traditions, techniques, practices that excite you, right? I see you really building yourself up here in this next period of time, continuing to really, I'm not going to say that you were low. I don't think that anything went terribly wrong in the last year or so, but I do feel like there was like a sense of maybe like dwindling identity, or feeling not so much yourself, forgetting your power. So maybe just kind of a melancholy, feeling just worn out to the bone. I feel like that energy that you had been missing is really coming back to you. It is flowing in your direction, okay? Now, I want to turn this. We're going to take a look. So to me, we have the number 676. 676. We also have 30. It looks like 30. 30. 676 and also 30 as two numbers. But we also have people falling. We have one here. Here's a head, and it looks like the person's kind of like falling. We have a person up here who looks like they're kind of falling. Here's the head, the body, the legs are out like this. We have a helicopter right here. The chariot of the gods. And we have two people arguing here. We also have a dumbbell right here. Okay, so here's the head of the person on this side, the body, the arm reached out. Now this person, their head's here, their arms are up, and they have, their body right down in here. It looks like they have a bird on their arm, and it looks like it might be an owl. So we have a watcher. I feel like you have somebody in your life who is often looking over your shoulder. I feel like you got yourself maybe into a relationship, a friendship, or a family dynamic where maybe at some point in your life you had struggled, or, you had like a big tower event, right? And it maybe left you a little destabilized. Maybe you've had some like mental health stuff. Maybe you've had addiction stuff, or, maybe just in general, trouble living, figuring out how to, get yourself started in the world and maintain things. We all have our things, right? I've definitely feel like I've had most of the things I just mentioned at one point or another. So you might have people in your life who kind of, of course they see you as, a human being, an adult, somebody they care for, at least care for enough that they're, thinking about you. And, I think that for the most part, people trust you. You're good at what you do, but you have these moments in your life where maybe you wobble a bit, and the people that love you, who are around you, they might sometimes maybe be overbearing. They might start to treat you like, you can't make your own choices, or, every choice you'd make and you share with them, they might like, oh, well, let's sit down and troubleshoot this, or let's do the pros and cons, or did you think about doing this or that? Now, I am married to a Cancer. Okay, my husband, his name is Paul. He's the guy over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you've never seen him, go check him out. If you have seen him and know who he is, then you know. He's a very intelligent guy. He knows what he's doing. He's, I'm 40. He's a little older than me. So he's lived some life. I'm not going to out him on his age. I don't know if he's ever said. I don't know. But, so you would think, like, this is a person that, can, like, do life and take care of themselves, and he can. But he's married to a Virgo that is all up in everybody's business in this household. I am constantly adjusting and fixing the system, making sure everybody has what they need, forcing it upon them if they haven't had it. I'm talking vitamins, supplements, eating enough at meals, all of this thing. I am mom. Now, how do you think a Cancer, especially a really successful in different areas of his life, not just in work. He's very successful in a variety of areas. How do you think a Cancer feels when they have a little wife that has a Napoleon, complex? Not really for it, not really into it, not really trying to hear, somebody's opinion about everything you do, like how you put the toilet paper on the toilet paper roll, or, the dispenser, or if you happen to miss putting it on. Can you imagine what that Virgo lady would say? So I feel like there is a sense of just like getting annoyed. Like, bro, I have survived this long. I think I can figure it out. But if I need help, I'll come find you. And I feel like this person, they double down. They keep coming back. And the arguments begin. Okay? I don't think you like to argue. I think really, honestly, for a Cancer, arguing is like the last line of defense. You know what I mean? Like, if you get to the point where you have a Cancer person like tripping on you, raising their voice, stomping their feet, getting upset, you've really pushed that person into that zone. Because, you guys really will go to great lengths to not get emotional about, negatively, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you're feeling things, you usually keep it pretty buttoned up. So I feel like this person must know all of your buttons. This person is just, you have such a history with them. So that tells me you love them. They're staying in your life, but you do be arguing. And I do feel like there's going to be a period of time here coming up where something's going on where people are falling out of your life. Okay? I don't know if you're pushing them or if, something's going on where, the friends group, the family, things are kind of breaking up a little bit. It makes sense to me. I don't, maybe you're on social media, maybe not. Maybe you keep up on current events, maybe not. But in the last couple of weeks, we've had one of these purging cycles, is what I like to call them, where people just go to town, say whatever they want to say to anybody freely, publicly. Don't care if their name and their persona and their family members see it. And then the infighting begins, right? The back and forth and the texting each other and disinviting and saying, I'm not going to holidays if this is going to be how people are behaving, or, whatever. And this constant feeling of, well, if you would just really look at the thing, then you would make the right decision. You would know what I'm saying is right. this kind of immovable energy. And you're just seeing people once again walking away from these dynamics, left and right, going no contact, blocking your grandma. You know what I mean? Like, I can't talk. You know, I'm estranged from my family of origin, not because of politics, but, you know, I get it. I understand what it is to have to walk away from everything you know. I've done it more than once, you know, unfortunately. And it's not easy, but you know what? Sometimes it's the only path to peace. I know in my heart, if I put up with the way I felt being close to my family, I would be a different person. I probably wouldn't be alive anymore, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be alive. But I had to do what I had to do, and they had to do what they had to do, you know, and there's no love lost over that, you know. From afar, I love them greatly, you know, but I have had multiple lives since then. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have to just let people go. Sometimes we have to just kind of, you know, I don't know. I just pray, honestly. I just pray. I pray for people constantly. And I pray for myself, you know, to not get involved, to disengage in any kind of fighting like that, arguing. That's why you'll never hear my political views. I barely have any, really. And I'm very, you know, I'm educated about all the things. I'm a big, you know, conspiracy nerd and all of that, so I know. But, you know, things like this, divisive things, not for me. There are things that could really, you know, there are things that are important. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, do you eat crunchy peanut butter or creamy peanut butter? You know? Like, that's really going to inform me more about what you're about than anything else. And I'll fight with you about that. But not politics. So anyways, you know, I just feel like you're at a place where you're tired of it. But you love this person. So you're going to keep them in your life. But I feel like, you know, there is this movement towards like being in your power place, detaching from frivolous communications, not letting it get a hold of you. Okay. And yeah, some people are going to be gone. You know, I'm sorry about that. We're a few of us, all of us probably are going through some stuff like that. Now, again, I feel like we have the name Ryan. This name keeps coming up in my readings. R-Y-A-N, Ryan. I have a cousin named Ryan. I haven't seen him in like 30 years. Shout out to Ryan. I think he lives in Utah somewhere. He was a step cousin. Oh, no, is that it? Yeah, step cousin. But I grew up with him, so, you know, cousin. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to look at the saucer, and then we're going to check out, I want to do oracle cards. I'm like really getting into oracle cards lately. And then today after, what do I have next? I'm going to do Gemini reading, and then I'm going to do I'm also practicing mediumship stuff, so maybe a little oracle mediumship thing for the equinox coming up. That is what I am drawn into doing. It felt right when I woke up. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what this, collectively what the energy is going to be. Okay, here we go. So we have the number 2. We also have what looks like a small rodent. And maybe it's a cat chasing. the rodent. This is the rodent. This is the cat. And then a person with a sword and a person over here with like a talk bubble above them. So to me, it does feel like there is a situation coming up where it feels like somebody within your life, somebody who you've let into your personal like zone, has been talking about what, I don't know. But to me, your reaction is this person is a freaking rat. This person is running their mouth about my business, my personal stuff, and really just being very careless, I think. I do feel like the cat makes sense. It is the hermit. It is the the kind of, to me, the symbol, the ultimate symbol of individuality, of autonomy, of being self-sufficient, being, very independent, and also not necessarily wanting to be very engaged with many people. Like, you have one or two people you really roll with, and that's about it. This person, I don't think, is one of those people, but they're elevated, right? There's somebody you trust. There's somebody you spend time with. And that's the big thing. If a Cancer is willing to spend time with you, and it's not forced, it's like not at work or something, that you are gang, right? Like, a Cancer doesn't just like hang out because they feel like they have to. Like, you're only going to be there if you want to be. So I do feel like it's somebody you've chosen for your life, but now you're finding out there's something weird about this person. This is a goofy person. Like, they're running their mouth, and they're running their mouth about things that are fundamental to your life, right? Like, I can't even think of what, but I was going to say something like, you were like complaining about your spouse or something, and now they're telling everybody, oh, so-and-so, they're not doing good, or, that kind of like, Okay, let's see. We have 3 lucky numbers. We're going to do number 90 is the first one, 90. Then we have 99. 999. Okay, and 22. 99, 22, and 9. Oh, no, 90. 90. 90. That's right. Okay, let's get our oracle cards. We're going to ask Cancer, or excuse me, Spirit. Can you tell I'm getting over a sickness? I have had a fever for a few days here, and today I woke up feeling better, definitely, but I can feel just kind of icky, like, tail end of the thing, so you'll have to forgive me. I know my voice doesn't sound the best, and I know I probably sound like I'm just sweating over here, because I am. I got that, like, glossy fever look. If you look at the thumbnail for the video, I took the picture last night and I'm all like shiny. It's because I was like fevery. That's a little secret only you will know. So we're gonna ask Spirit, dearest Spirit, and these are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun cards. Somebody asked me in the comments, I have to answer them, but these are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and they're beautiful cards, and the book that comes with them is so dope. Get it. Get the set. It's definitely worth it. So we're going to ask Spirit, what is going on in this next week? What is the big event, the big focus? Okay. You're gonna have to bear with how I do this, how I shuffle, or not shuffle, how I pick the cards. I just I'm not doing the regular kind of shuffling. So we have submission. Okay. Revenge. Ooh. Devotion. Okay. Submission, revenge, devotion. Ooh, this sounds like it could get fun. Health. Okay. Harmony. Yeah, that's what I was like. Whatever thing. Yes, empathy. Okay. So whatever thing happened, right? Ancient history, or yeah, it must be old, because revenge isn't something that often, anyways, isn't something that immediately you're just like tit for tat, you know. Revenge is something that takes time. Revenge is like a really good soup that you've been cooking all day long, right? And sometimes you like to just sneak in there and give it a little stir and a little taste, and you get to just kind of you be a little euphoric in that yummy, yummy soup. Now, the difference between the soup and the revenge is that hopefully you will end up eating that soup. The revenge part, not always the best course of action. Now, I will say, and I am honest and very honest when I say this, and you might think that it seems contradictory to my energy or the things that I talk about here, or really how, I kind of try to lead my life. But I do fully believe in blood for blood, right? Eye for eye. I don't know what to say besides 100%. This lady is, depending on the situation, I'm not taking the higher road. We are blood for blood, okay? So I'm not somebody that's going to sit here on like my high horse and tell you that you must reject revenge or the idea for revenge. No, quite the opposite. This can be a great motivator, right? But here's the deal. You need to keep your wits about you. You need to keep your head on your shoulders. If you're somebody that gets so wildly emotional that you can't control yourself, then you need to get away from this feeling as far as you possibly can. But if you are somebody who, you can see things for what they are, you can understand that, listen, if I dwell in this revenge place for too long, what is it going to cause you? Stress, paranoia, fear, anger, all the things, right? And that's going to affect your health. Okay, absolutely. It will overtake your health. Now, the idea of harmony and empathy, right? And we have, I don't know if you can see these, we have the harmony card and the empathy card. Okay, so to me, that is the road towards good health. Finding a way to regulate your nervous system, your emotional state, your coping mechanisms, your reactions. Now, that's that's deep work to get to that place. That's not something that happens overnight. So I do feel like this is a big focus, okay, for the sake of your health, your well-being, and also your self-development. When something comes up this week where it does remind you of this thing that happened whenever, and there is a sense of wanting revenge, you need to really, really pump the brakes on this one, okay? You need to think. You need to think. You need to be with yourself, okay? Now, I do feel like there is a sense of submitting to that other part of self that is going to help kind of bring you down a notch, okay? That's going to help self-soothe you, maybe kind of get you away from this thinking. Now, I also believe that your devotion, right? What am I going to do with these? I want to put those over there. Your devotion is going to be the key here. Okay, now what are you devoted to? That's what I also want to see. acquisition, idealism. Oh, okay. And charity. Okay. So I feel like there's a sense of through service, okay, through maybe living in a little bit of an ego fantasy, let's be real, and, you know, really obtaining a position or, you know, being noticed, which, listen, I'm not saying you're shallow, but when you are going through something that can be very triggering or bring you back into those low places, those low vibrational places where it's like, oh yes, I remember exactly what Jennifer did to me in 1992 and I'm gonna get her for it. You know what I mean? She like stole your marbles or something. I think it's so, you know, it's so important. And I think for you, this is the thing that really works, is that you turn away from that energy and you look at, where can I successfully put my energies? Where can I actually make some kind of a difference? And, you know, honestly, feeling like you're helping people, feeling like you're making some kind of change in your life, in the community around you, in the greater world, in the collective. I feel like this is where you kind of like restore yourself, like you're fulfilling, or not fulfilling, you are filling yourself up, right? And so to have people in your life be kind of like, yo, like I saw that you know, you're working at the soup kitchen. I saw that you've been, you know, volunteering at the mosque with the kids, or, you know, like whatever it is. I feel like that makes you feel good. Right? Like you feel like you are part of something, that you are helping something. And so, yeah, I feel like this is a good time this week. Find something for you to do. Go out and volunteer. Be of service to somebody. You know, find somebody in your life who's moving. Show up for them. I know, I'm kidding. Don't do that. All right, Cancer, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. It's always such a pleasure. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love, love, love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to wrap this up. It's a long one. And tell you again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon.